Hi guys, tonight I'm going to go over the union operator in SQL. Basically a union, what it does in SQL is it combines two separate queries and gives you one set of results. So I selected an example from the textbook on page 151 and I just kind of changed it a little bit just to give us something different to run. So the example I'm using is list the number and name of each customer that either lives in California or placed an order on or after June 1st, 2014, or both. So it's basically two queries. So just to make it easier on myself, I'm going to split this into two separate pieces that I'm looking at. So for the first query, let's do a select. I'm looking at the customer number. So customer ID. Customer last name, customer first name. And then to double check my work, I'm also going to do the state where they live. So I'm going to do customer state, even though that's not part of the request. From customers, that's my table. And my clause is going to be where customer state equals CA for California. Okay, let's run that. Oh, and we got to tell it which database we're running. So I already have my database selected. So let's go ahead and run it. And here are my customers who live in California. And I have 11 rows of results. Okay, let's keep that in mind. So now for the second part of the query, select. Basically the same thing. You can just copy and paste if you want. I'm just going to type it out. And then for this one, I'm going to look at the order date. So I'm looking at the orders table, and then there's order date right there. So let's pull it, even though it's not part of the required results, just to double check. So for this second part of the query, I'm actually using the customers table and the orders table. Now I'm going to want to join those. So it's customers. The customer ID is what joins those two tables together. And there's the second part of the clause is where the order was placed on or after June 1st. So order date has to be greater or equal to, let me use my single quotes there, June 1st of 2014. See, and I'm having squiggles here, so something's wrong. Because the customer ID exists both in the customers table and the orders table, I gotta tell it what table I'm running it from. So I'm gonna do customers. And squiggles go away, so it looks good. Let's just run that query. So we'll just, if you highlight it, it'll just run that piece when you hit execute. So here we go. And I'm looking at my order dates, and they're all after June 1st of 2014, and I have 11 results. Okay, so to combine both sets of results, of both queries into one result, you just enter union right here in between them, and it'll combine both of those queries. So now if I hit execute, it's given me an error. So it says conversion failed when converting date and or time from character string. So part of the problem with my query is that I have fields that aren't compatible with each other. So, you know, the first three fields I'm pulling are exactly the same, so that's not the problem. If I look at customer state though, and I look at order date, now if we come back to our tables here, see customer state is a character and order date is a date field. So these two fields aren't compatible with each other, so I can't run this query together with both of them in there. So let's just go ahead and remove them because they're not part of the original query results that we want to see anyway. So let's do that. Let's hit execute again. And once we do that, it runs fine. So notice that there's only 16 rows. The first query produced 11 rows, and the second query produced 11 rows also. So you would think that by combining them both, you'd get 22 rows. But since some of these customers live in California and they placed orders after June 1st, they're part of both queries, so they overlap a little bit. So that's why you only get 16 rows instead of 22. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed the video. Have a good night.